Hey everybody, we're just going to go through here for a few minutes and look at the different slides in this presentation just to make sure we understand what are the things that we're going to be doing as we are doing lesson 1 here about the epidemiological triangle. So your goals as you walk through this lesson, by the end of it, you're going to be able to gain an understanding of the epidemiological triangle and how it's used. You're going to also read a graphic novel to summarize the difference between host, environment, and agent. And then with your phonology journal, you're going to apply prior knowledge of phonology and expand on this to write better observations and collect data on seasonal changes. So just going through each of these slides to make sure we're understanding this one, just very simple. You're going to do this by yourself. Take 3 minutes at your seat to make a list of 3 or more diseases. When you're done, share your list with someone that's sitting near you for another 2 minutes and add those together. So if they have ones that you don't have, or if you have ones that they don't have, so you have a more complete list when you're done. When you're done with that, simply just watch this Ed puzzle. It should pop up to the right of your screen on your iPad. So you're just going to be directed to complete an Ed puzzle. After watching that video, you should have a little bit of an idea of what an infectious disease is. So an infectious disease is caused by a virus, bacteria, protist, or fungus, and is spread from an infected organism or the environment to another organism. They can be carried by biological vectors like rats, birds, dogs, cats, mosquitoes, fleas, and flies. And people can also be disease carriers. Then when you get to this slide, I'm on slide 6 now. Another Ed puzzle. You're just going to watch about how a few scientists transformed the way we think about disease. Make sure you complete the Ed puzzle because that will go right into your gradebook. So infectious diseases. Scientists did not understand how many infectious diseases were transmitted until the late 1800s, early 1900s, so fairly recently. Louis Pasteur developed the pasteurization process, which kills some bacteria in liquid. Robert Koch developed a method to isolate and grow one type of bacteria at a time. And then Joseph Lister learned to reduce surgery deaths by keeping his hands and instruments clean. And now we use that to clean our mouths, if you've ever heard of Listerine. Okay, on this slide, you are just going to watch the video. Do not write your answers on this slide. You're just going to watch. And just so you know, as you're watching, you are going to write down things that you notice. So what do you observe? What do you hear? What do you see? And then what do you wonder? What questions do you have? Then when we get here to slide 9, this is where you should actually write the answers from your video. You cannot click. If you try to click on this here, it will not play the video. It's just a picture of it. Here's just the place where you can write down what you noticed and what you wondered about the video. Here again, I'm on slide 10. This is just a slide where you are watching the video about the epidemiological triangle. After you have watched that video that was on slide 10, here on slide 11, you are describing the role of each part of the epidemiological triangle. So what is the host, what is the agent, and what is the environment? You should be describing them here. So just a few things that you could talk about with the host. The host is the who of the triangle. Organisms, usually they're humans or animals, exposed to and carry a disease. The organism that gets sick, as well as any animal carrier, including insects and worms that may or may not get sick, could also be a host. The host may or may not know it has the disease or have any outward signs of the illness. The disease does take lodging from the host, meaning it lives with the host. The host includes symptoms of the disease. Different organisms may have different reactions to the same agent. For example, adults infected with the virus varicella, which is chickenpox, are more likely than children to develop serious complications. You guys maybe have heard of shingles. The agent is the what. So the agent is the cause of the disease. An infectious disease, it could be a microbe, a pathogen, a germ. It's an organism too small to be seen with the naked eye. So some examples of agents would be bacteria, virus, fungi, or protozoa. And then the environment is where this is happening. So these would be favorable surroundings and conditions that are external to the host, so outside of the host body, that cause or allow the disease to be transmitted. Some diseases live best in dirty water, others survive in human blood. Others, like E. coli, thrive in warm temperatures but are killed by high heat. Other environmental factors include the season of the year. So like, for example, in the US, the peak of flu season is between November and March. All right, so that gets you through slide 14. On slide 15, you should see something pop up on the side here. There's a graphic novel. Once you pop open this graphic novel, you're going to open the Ask a Scientist Epidemiological Triangle Assignment Worksheet. That's going to be on the next slide. So on these two slides, you're going to be opening two different things that go together. So slides 15 and 16. So on slide 15, you're going to open up the graphic novel. And on slide 16, you're going to open up this Google assignment. So now I'm on slide 16. You're going to read the graphic novel that you opened up here on slide 15. And then you're going to fill out this Ask a Scientist Epidemiological Triangle assignment that should open up as a Google assignment for you. When you are done, you're going to submit it. And you're taking notes about the host, the agent, and the environment in the story. And so here's just a little example. So some of the things you might notice about the host in the story: the host is a person or organism on or in which another organism lives. The battle between germs and the body's immune system is what causes illness symptoms in the host. So now I'm down here, things you might have noticed about the environment: the surroundings or conditions in which a person or organism exists. And the environment is a person can be infected when in the same environment as the infected host. And then over here, some of the things you may have noticed about the agent. It is the cause of the disease. Infectious agents are organisms that invade a host and spread from host to host. And that could be like pathogens that replicate. So you will have different things than this. Here are just a few notes to get you started. And again, slide 15 is where you open the graphic novel. Slide 16 is where then you open up the Google assignment that you can then complete. All right, and then after 17, we have slide 18 here. So you just have a picture. It shows you host, environment, and agent. Based on what you've learned and based on this picture, what is one question you can draw on this slide? What's one question you have about the information? And then one thing you notice. And then finally, on slide 19, before you go, you're also writing on this slide your thoughts to this question: what happens if any of the three parts of the epidemiological triangle, the host, the agent, or the environment, are missing? And that is your lesson 1 slideshow.